Hey YouTube, what's up? Decline here. So things have not been going great. Like I've been doing my job. I started just under 2 weeks ago, and maybe the first week or so was okay, but they moved me from the warehouse to the factory to the production line, and it was really hard because you have to be really fast there, and you have to have the physical strength to lift all these bags repeatedly over and over again. Like, even if they're not that heavy, you're throwing these bags off the production line into the box like 300 times in a row, maybe, at, at 1 every 4 seconds of like a 5 kilo bag of nuts. And I cut my finger on a tape dispenser because there was a lot of rushing that I had to put this label sheet onto a container while the pallet box that I was supposed to be taking away was filling up with product, and there was a lot of blood going everywhere, like a surprising amount. And people there were kind of condescending the way they, like, if I do something wrong, they kind of laugh and like say, I told you this way, and it's like I'm trying, but physically it's so hard to get things right because you're dealing with these heavy bags and stuff. I was physically at my limit because of all these bags. You're throwing like hundreds of them in a row, 5 kilo bags, into this box, and then they're saying you're too slow and stuff. And the first day it was really loud, and they didn't give me earmuffs. Only the second day they gave me earmuffs. So I probably got some permanent damage already to my hearing from the first day, and I've really got sensitive ears that are already kind of damaged. So that wasn't good at all. And the second day, well, I was trying my best, but they were like, hurry up, and you're doing it wrong, and they make you do all this time wasting stuff. Like, I had to put the labels on the products, and when the long sheet of labels finishes, they wanted me to roll it up all neatly, but it was going in the bin anyway. And like, you gotta waste all your time doing that when you've got all these bags coming at you that you've got to label, and it's like they're just being particular about this stuff just to slow you down more so they can make you feel bad and say that you're not performing. It's just ridiculous. That day it was so stressful. I was like completely at my limit, and I was falling behind because the production line was so fast. And I was basically like, I'm gonna quit when I get home. But then the other managers said they'll try and get me back in the warehouse, so I thought I'll come back again. The next day, one of the staff in the warehouse was like, how was the factory? And I was like, it was really hard, you have to be really fast. And she was like sarcastic with me. She was like, at least you don't have to be fast here. And then later on that day, the manager told me about how I'm not meeting the quota, I'm way too slow. And so it's like initially there's people like fake nice to me, but now they're being like sarcastic and stuff. I think the problem is that they aren't upfront with like the quotas and stuff there. They only tell you when you're not meeting the quota. So it's like you can't really prepare yourself. You can't get up to that standard. There's no time to get up there from the beginning, and they're not open about the expectations. So now I'm in the danger zone, and it looks like this job is going to end pretty soon because I'm just not meeting the quota. Like, I'm not trying to slack off, but I think they see me as trying to slack off. But it's more like I'm not used to arranging the items in the big pallet box that we have to pick into. Like, I think when you get more experienced, you know how to arrange the items into the box. You don't waste time rearranging them. And also I'm a lot weaker, so it's a lot harder for me to lift everything. so it takes me a bit longer. But like, I'm trying my best, but they see me as like slacking off and stuff. And like I said, they're not really nice anymore with like being sarcastic, and the guys in the production side were kind of condescending too. And so I think this is going to end soon. I don't know how long they'll keep me for, but like, I guess if I can't meet the quota, which I don't think there's any way I can meet it, I'm just not physically capable of that, then they'll just end it. But the problem is like Centrelink, the welfare agency, if you leave your job and they say without a valid reason, then they will cut off your money and you have to wait a long time to go back onto the unemployment benefits. And that means I basically can't quit. I have to stay there until I get fired, which I'm kind of worried because I can tell it's going to get more toxic and they're not going to be nice, and it's not going to be pleasant when I get fired. And like, I already don't enjoy working there, so now I'm in this purgatory where I just want it to be over now. I mean, sure, I like the money, but it's obvious that I'm not capable of the job and they're not going to keep me there forever, and it's just, I just find this whole thing terrible. After my first day in production, I was just full on crying on the way home. I just found it so terrible and I didn't want to do it at all. The thing is, like, I gave it a try, I did my best, but clearly I can't survive in a warehouse environment, or not this warehouse environment at least. I'm not physically capable of this work. So it's going to be back to Centrelink hopefully, but even if they do fire me and I get back onto Centrelink, the problem is that Centrelink is going to make me do all these activities, and then soon they'll make me do work for the dole, and well, maybe I'll quit if they make me do work for the dole and I'll just live off my savings for a while. I don't know. So what else has been happening? Basically, I've just felt bad all week. It was an absolute hellish week for me at work. Because I injured my finger, I haven't bothered to go back to the gym lately. The last time I went was last Monday, because like, how am I going to grip onto anything with a finger that's injured? How am I going to push anything? So I haven't been to the gym, and with all this stuff with work, I still feel alone. I mean, there's no real distraction. I just feel terrible. Like, I wouldn't have minded that job, continuing to work in the warehouse. Even if I couldn't get a girlfriend or anything, at least I could move out and get my own place. And, I don't know, maybe a cheap apartment and just live a minimal existence and be happy being alone. But I can't even have that, can't even have a dead-end job, can't even have a minimum wage job. And so I'm stuck here. I'm gonna be broke again, and I'm still alone, It's all the same. This is just an unscripted rant, so I know it's probably not interesting, but everyone says, make an unscripted video, Decline. Why are you reading across the screen, Decline? Especially that guy who doesn't even show his face on his YouTube channel. He just shows a blank screen or something, I don't know. He doesn't show his face. Forever Alone guy, that normie, he's always like, oh, you're reading off the screen, your expression is like this, you're whatever. It's like, see, at least I show my fucking face, but because maybe it's because you're a normie, you don't show your face. And by the way, anybody who subscribes to like the OnlyFans, it's there for people who are interested in it. if you don't want to see it, don't click on it. And honestly, if you go there just to make fun of me or you criticize me for it, you weren't a real fan anyway. I mean, if it's not your thing, just avoid it. Anyway, that's it for now.